Hey guys, well now that we've got the Precision Matthews rewired with the C25XP and the ATC working, now today we're going to take a look at the Mach3 screen set that's going to be controlling our new auto tool changer. Now if this screen looks familiar to you, it may. This screen was designed by a gentleman named Mike. His YouTube channel, you may be familiar with it, is PhysicsAnonymous. In about 5 months, he set out to design a Mach3 screen set that looked a little more modern and was a little bit more user-friendly. He had tried Mach 4 with his build, and he wasn't very happy, like many of us, with the overall form and function of Mach 4. The functionality of Mach 3 was really good. The overall look and feel was just dated. So he set out to design his own screen, and he took inspiration from this Swiss U, as you can see here. This screen is available off the Artsoft website, but you can see the similarity between Mike's screen and this Swiss U screen. He just redesigned it, laid it out a little bit different, and made it more user-friendly. Mike did a really good job with his screen. I had a subscriber contact me a few months ago, tell me about Mike's screen, and ask me if I would take a look at it, which I did, and I really like the overall design of Mike's screen. I started using it, and I really grew very fond of it. So when I decided to do the ATC, I decided to go ahead and base my new screen off Mike's design. Now at first glance it looks really similar. I didn't change any of the layout really. I just added the features that I wanted in my screen set and changed the appearance slightly. So you can see I've added this carbon fiber background. I have this version and a blue version. I also added this Air OK input here. This is for the auto changer to make sure that we have enough sufficient air pressure in order to do a tool change. I've also changed this work coordinate system here to display G54, G55, whereas in Mike's version he had it showing the fixture number, which is fine if you're used to that. Me personally, I like the G54, G55. Overall, it's pretty much the same as Mike had it. It's nice. It's got a nice picture toolpath window here, and it's got pretty much everything you need right here on the main page. Now the next tab here is the probing tab. I really like this tab. Mike did a really good job of laying this out. It's very functional. It's got everything you need with a few exceptions. So, and he outlined some of these in his video, and so I just took it a step further and added some of the things that he felt like it needed and I felt like it needed as well. Now, all of the probing macros I've tested work really well. There are little things you have to relearn as far as the probing routines go, but that's pretty much with any screen you use. The probing routines act a little differently. Now these probing routines came from vers.by. This is a gentleman who makes touch probes and touch sensors. I believe he's Russian. Stop by his website. He developed a Mach 3 probing wizard that you can download for free and plug into your original screen set, and you have all the probing functionality you would need. He did a very good job on all the probing routines. I've tested all of them and they all work really well. Now one of the things that I found doing these probing routines is that it always starts out with whatever your feed rate is set to, and default is 6 inches per minute, which is really slow. So if you forget to change this and you start a probing routine, it's going to go real slow. So what I did was I added this stop button here on the screen, and it will just stop the probing cycle and you can readjust your speed here and start over. That was something I felt like after using it a few times I really needed this, so I added that. The screen also has these buttons here to set your Z0 and your tool height. So I thought it needed a way to get to our tool table, so I've added this button to pull up your tool table to make so you can change the description if you're touching off new tools, so on and so forth. And then I think the most important feature that I've added to this screen is the help menu. So there are a lot of different buttons on this screen, and not knowing exactly what each one does was a bit of a pain at first. So I developed this help screen. You can click on any one of these to pull up a brief description, which came from the vers.by manual, and you can pull these up and see exactly what each one does. Now the nice thing about this probe Z is it only lets you use tool 99 for your probe, which is what the majority of the people that I am familiar with use tool 99 to set as their probe. It's got a good description of how to measure your tool heights. It gives a good description of how you go about setting your G54 Z0 and how to measure your tool heights. So that's the help menu. Another nice feature about this screen is it gives you the results here for all the different measurements that you're taking. So if you're measuring an outside or an inside, it will give you the X minus, the X positive, and the X result for the total length that it measured. It's really comprehensive, and I haven't had any mishaps as far as a crash with the probe, so that's really good. A lot of these Chinese controllers give us fits with our probing routines. They're not compatible. A lot of them are not compatible with some of the variables that a Mach3 uses to do the probing routines. Alright, next up is our Diagnostics tab. Now I really like the layout of this Diagnostic tab. Mike did a really good job on this. I did change a few things to again make it more usable to me. Of course the background is the same theme throughout the screen set. I've added this Spindle Dro to let me know which tool is currently in the spindle. I've also added this axis calibration button here. This was something that Mike didn't have on his screen. Technically you could use the 1024 screen to get your machine set up, and then you don't really need this after that. However, I thought there was a spot here, so why not add that? Also added this max speed. This is the max speed for my spindle. This is more for the CNC router users. I've got a spindle warm-up routine for CNC routers, and it uses this max speed here to ramp up and ramp down the spindle. I've also added this park location. Again, this is for CNC router users to move to a set position so you can throw a sheet of plywood, etc. up there. I've also added this output 16 here. This is for our foot switch, letting us know that we've received that input. And there's room here to add more, which I really like, because when you're running 3 ports, you really need all these extra LEDs down here. Really good job on this Diagnostics tab. I really like it a lot. Next up is the main reason I developed the screen in the first place, and that's the ATC tab. Now, as you can see, I tried to keep Mike's overall theme going throughout, including the ATC tab. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I really like it. I think it looks really good. So let's go over some of the features on this particular tab. This is all new. So up here in the top right corner, we have our stack light. Now this stack light will mimic the machine stack light using the brain that I created for this screen. So red for reset or e-stop, and then we have amber in the middle for tool change or whenever a macro is running, and green whenever the spindle or the machine is moving. Next we have our carousel here. This happens to be a 10 tool carousel. However, I have a 12 tool available. Now, I think one thing that's unique about all of my ATC screen sets is the fact that you can use any tool number in any position. You're not limited to using tool numbers 1 through 10. So you can use any two-digit number up to 99. Next, we have our slot position numbers. There are also buttons. If by pressing the one here, you will initiate an M6T, whatever number is currently stored in that position. So in this case, an M6T36. Over here would be an M6T39. This just allows you to do quick tool changes. In the center here, we have our slot position number. This corresponds with our DRO, so we're moving 10 positions, so every 36 degrees is one slot. Over here we have our extend and retract toggle button. This extends and retracts our carousel. We have a couple of LEDs here for our extend and retract. Here's our toggle button to open and close the power drawbar. This is a toggle button, so you can see that our tool is released and we press it again and it's clamped. So right here we have our Spindle Dro. This is the tool that is currently in the spindle. If you have to be mindful of this, if you manually change a tool and leave that in the spindle, you need to update this so that Mach3 knows what to do with that particular tool. And then over here we have our machine coordinates. These are our work coordinates and then machine coordinates. We have our CDRO, which is in degrees, and this is only 3 digits. And then down here we have some settings that we need to set up for our tool change. This is our tool change feed rate. This is the feed rate in which the spindle will lower and raise to retrieve and store the tool. We then have our delay. This is the amount of time it takes to extend and retract the carousel. And then we take this same information and we divide it by 2 for the delay for clamp and unclamp. Next we have our ATC sensor and low air. We need to enter a 1 to enable and a 0 to disable. The ATC sensor, these are our extend and retract proximity switches to let us know that the carousel is in the correct position. And then our low air LED here to indicate that we have sufficient air pressure to do a tool change. These are very important features, and in my particular situation I don't leave my compressor turned on automatically because it's right next to me and it's very loud, so this is really nice to have. I've been prompted several times that I didn't have enough air pressure, and so I've had to take a minute, pause, and recharge the air in order to do a tool change. And then down here we have a tool description. This just gives you a description of the tool. After the tool change is complete, it will pop up that information right there for you. Down here is delete button. This will prompt you to delete the carousel if you want to reload it, or easy way to just get rid of all the tool information. Don't worry if you accidentally press it, it will prompt you to make sure that that's actually what you want to do before you. And then our low air pressure indicator here, this is just to let us know that we have sufficient air pressure to do a tool change. Down here we have some jog buttons to jog our X, Y, and Z, our C axis. Now our C axis, Because we're using a Geneva mechanism, we're rotating one position each time we press the button, and each position is 36 degrees. So by pressing the arrow, we'll rotate to position 1, which is 36 degrees away. Notice our slot position updated here, and we're at 0. Over here we have our parameters for our tool change. This is our clearance height. This is a position, a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch above our tool so that we can rotate safely. And then here is our current load position. These are in machine coordinates. Don't inadvertently just type in a number here. Jog to this position, get everything lined up, and press the set button. It will automatically update this information for you. And then over here I have an MDI line. I like to put these on all of my tabs so that I can, I use this quite a bit to move the machine or do tool changes. So it's very convenient to have that. And then down here we just have our reset and some file information, the mode, and any info for what's going on, particularly with Mach 3. If we do a tool change, it'll let us know down here that the tool change is complete after we're finished. Alright, well that's pretty much all the information on the Mach 3 screen set. Let's go out to Precision Matthews and we'll do some tool changes. We'll talk about some of the features that are on the screen as well as in the macro. Alright guys, well here we are out on the machine, and let's see this new Mach 3 screen in action. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just do a simple tool change. So we have tool 1 in the spindle currently, and we're going to go get tool 10, which is in position 6. Alright guys, so we're going to do a tool change. I currently have tool 10 in the spindle. We're in slot position 6 on the carousel, and we're just going to get tool number 1. So I'm just going to click on 1. Alright, so now we have tool number 1. Again, I'm going to go back and get tool number 10 in slot position 6. So I'm just clicking on 6. This would be your typical tool changer. When all your tools are in the carousel. So now, if we want to get a tool that's not in the carousel, many of you, like me, have these TTS holders that are not ATC. So what are you going to do with these? Well, I use these for tools that I don't use frequently, and I'm not going to be putting in the carousel. So like drill bits, stuff like that. So this particular one, we're going to use for manual tool changes. So let's do a manual tool change. I'm going to do an M6T44. We're going to store the tool 10. We're going to retract the carousel, and then now I am prompted to please load tool 44. So I'm going to click OK. Everything's paused until I come over, put the tool in here, press the foot pedal. You can hear the power drawbar clamp, and then it's going to say press OK when clear. So now the tool change is complete, and I can start doing machining. Now let's say I want to do another tool change for a tool that's not in the carousel again. So let's say it's an M6T22. We're We're going to go to a tool change position. It's going to prompt me to remove tool 44. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to come over, step on my pedal, remove that tool. It's going to ask me if I'm clear. This is just for safety. It's going to move up to the the clearance position. It's going to ask me to load tool 22. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to put 22 in there. Step on the foot pedal to clamp it. It's going to ask me if I'm clear. And the tool change is complete. Everything's working really well. That's pretty much how it works. We have our manual tool in the spindle and we want to get a tool out of the carousel. So we're going to do an M6T1. It's going to prompt me to remove this tool. I'm going to press OK. Remove it. I'm clear. It's going to ask me, so I say yes. It's going to go to the clearance position, rotate tool number 1. It's going to load tool 1 and we can start machining. I think overall the screen, the ATC, everything seems to be functioning really well and really happy. So now it's just a matter of running some parts to see how it actually works in when machining. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you're just tuning in, click on the subscribe button down below. When I post a new video, I'll send you a link, and if it's something you're interested in, you can stop by and check it out. As always, guys, please feel free to ask questions, make suggestions, or leave comments. If you're interested in my new ATC screen set, you can stop by the website or shoot me an email. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and most importantly, be safe.